Oh, we're already here. Go, bah.
Not yet.
She has the Djokovic hat on because I told her that if Djokovic won this match, that she had to wear the hat on the show, and she has it on. By the way, this hat that I have on was sent to us last year by Florence Chan. You should know her in the chat by Flo, F-L-O, and she as well, the same person that painted this 5K picture up here with the Nole, with the goat on the picture. So she painted that, and she sent us this hat. So shout out to her, and she donated $80 to the channel. She did that earlier. So thank you so much, Flo. We love you a lot. She's a fine young lady. Went to the US last year, sent us pictures, and as well travels quite often and sends us personal pictures a lot. So thank you much, Flo. We love you a lot for sure.
Said Djokovic card on that was what.
Okay, you ready to go?
Yes.
All right, let's lock in. All right, hello, welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is July the 10th, Sunday, just after, or a couple hours after the Novak Djokovic, Nick Kyrgios Wimbledon final. As always, when we start our last shows of every major that we do, you know, we do shows every day during majors, or at least try to. We always want to say thank you, right?
Oh, shoot, I have my notebook right on the couch.
Okay, you want to grab it?
Yes, please.
Hold on, we'll give you this thank you. She forgot her shout out list.
I'm sorry, I wrote a whole bunch of names. What's up, William Spencer? Evening. What time is it over there?
All right, got your list.
Drink many hurricanes.
Ooh,
Well,
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
yeah.
All right, from both of us, a special shout out this major to Gene Swart. Gene Swart, you know him as Gene. I think it's Gene Swart actually in the chat.
Yes.
But he went the extra mile this year, as well as Thomas Chi in keeping up the scoring. But Gene Swart really went above and beyond. So as always, Gene, thank you, and I hope we paid you and took care of you accordingly. Also, Sister to Queen, Waynham Chia, Van Lee, who's been really fun this tournament, Paula, Ryan Mason, Robert, Ella Noir, and a lot of others. B-Doggo2, Bobby Harris, what's up, my brother? Who am I missing? Mike Walker.
Oh, if you're saying that.
Well, that's all I mean, you probably have a ton of them. She communicates with a lot of you. I kind of communicate very few. I'm not a big talker. I know I talk a lot on here, but outside of that, I really don't talk too much. I'd rather let her do the talking, and I just kind of go the other way. So it's kind of, don't be misled by how much I talk here, because I really don't talk to that many people. Honestly, like a handful. B-Dog, Mike Walker, Robert, and Brian Mason. Who else? That's like the only four dudes that I talk to. Ryan, Robert, Mike, and
You talk to everybody at the club.
But I mean, like on a personal level, like every day, like boom, 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 boom.
I don't believe he had a curse, Gene. I just believe, I think I was chatting with B-Dog and, the head-to-head curse. Yeah, but again, it's different. I've always said to beat Nadal or Djokovic in the Grand Slam is a whole different ballgame than beating them at a 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Completely different ballgame. I mean, you have less, 2 out of 3. If Nick won the first set, you're in trouble already, right? Whole different ballgame, but I don't think it was a curse. He really needs to get vaccinated. That's reality. If he wants to continue, which he can continue winning Grand Slams, he needs to play the slams. I'm sorry.
It goes deeper than that. And that's what,
I get
that's what you don't get. You don't look.
What's
okay.
up, SD Tennis? I'm trying.
Can we look at say Bob Marley for a moment? Bob Marley, the wonderful reggae singer who we all should know well. If not, check him out. You might be too young. But Bob Marley, at one point during his sickness, he had a curable disease. But because of beliefs and so forth, he chose not to, and it cost him his life. He decided to go ahead and do it, but it was too late at that point, right? So what I'm getting at is some people believe more deep than the material level. So, there's an old saying, I wouldn't sell my soul. The context of selling your soul depends upon the religion and what your beliefs are as a moral human being.
Well, if he's going that deep, then the whole fact of Russians can't play, then you would have to go throw that in there as well.
All that stuff is garbage.
Okay, I'm just saying, you can't say that. You just mean he believes.
I'm not saying his beliefs are garbage, but all that stuff with the Russians being banned is garbage.
I don't think his beliefs are garbage. I think
his beliefs are wonderful.
Oh, it's Jehovah's Witness, like my dad. They don't take blood. if they could be at a hospital, and I've seen many of these, they need the blood for maybe their kids to survive. They won't do it because of their beliefs. I mean,
does that make them dumb, or does that mean that their thought process?
You would say it would be dumb. You've said that's dumb before.
In my opinion, but what is my opinions are like assholes.
That's
Everybody has one.
I'm not vaccinated. I'm going to tell you guys that I'm with Novak in that. I don't believe in that. I'm sorry, I don't. I've seen so many people get sick, and and those of you that are vaccinated get sick, and I laugh about it because it's like all the other things, like the flu. So I'm with Novak in that. I do believe in that, but I feel like he's missing his opportunity. And I know a few people say, well, he'll play another year, and he'll play another year. Anything can happen next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. What about if someone beastly comes?
Yeah, I knew
Federer
and Djokovic jumped on the set.
You don't know that.
Yeah, and we tend to forget also, and maybe I'm off on this one, but I remember I was at the U.S. Open. I mentioned this before in 2007, and here was young Djokovic that met Roger Federer in the final, and Roger Federer won in 3 tight sets. And what I'm getting at is there's a lot of these tight players that are similar in nature that are starting to play these guys closer that are younger, like Jannik Sinners and so forth. And I'm not saying he's going to be Jannik. I just picked that name out of my ass. I don't even really. I think Jannik Sinner is too much like Tomas Berdych in his young
stages. He's still a kid.
But I'm just saying there's those type of players who you would never think, and then all of a sudden they start rolling off matches and they're the new GOAT, or at least for that period.
I thought this final was better. I don't think it was easier. I disagree with you, Van Lee. I thought the Berrettini match was laughable last year. But he had no chance. I felt like actually Nick, even though I don't like him, and I thought what a stupid guy. It just pissed me off to watch him talk to his group like that, talk down to them and keep looking at them. It bothered me a lot. I thought this was I felt like Novak really mentally, he had to keep it in him. He behaved, actually. He didn't do anything bad. They were toe-to-toe. The serves was everything, getting broken. He was toe-to-toe. Nick's mistake was in that second set. Thinking he had him already, when Novak comes back in 5. You don't have him. Not even at match point, you still don't have him.
Nick Kyrgios is not mean to interrupt. I'm so sorry. Nick Kyrgios is one of his biggest mistakes. One of Nick Kyrgios' biggest mistakes in the match today was when the tiebreaker began. It was tiebreaker, or he was serving. I think it was the tiebreaker, the first point. So Kyrgios had elected to, or it was 6-6. He had to serve first. Kyrgios missed his first serve and went for his huge second serve in a tiebreaker, and he double faulted. So he started out with a double fault, which is automatically negative. When we double fault, even if we're up, what happens when we double fault, Carla? We're like, damn, you get down on yourself. So he starts out the tiebreaker against arguably one of the most, if not the GOAT at winning tiebreakers.
Absolutely.
And Novak Djokovic. And he double faults the first point.
He made a mistake in the second set, taking it easy. I love your comment, Trouble Mind, the irony of Wimbledon. A Russian and a vaccinated player won the tournament.
It's funny.
That is funny.
It's true, though.
That is funny. Eleanor says both players were talking to their boxes like spoiled rich children. Personally, I could not stand hearing. I didn't see that of Novak too much. I thought he behaved pretty well.
He behaved excellent.
He did excellent today. Today he played like a player, like, the way you're supposed to have. But Nick was constantly. I'm like, shut up, dude. And as far as the Russians not playing, don't tell me, Van Lee, that Medvedev was going to make a difference, or Rublev, or Berrettini, who, in my opinion, is not a great player. Nick played way better this final, put more pressure. The shots that they hit side to side, the angles were way better than someone that has little legs, overgrown facial hair everywhere, a weird-ass forehand, not a powerful backhand. Berrettini, to me, is not a top 10 guy. Just saying. Gassi said, what makes you say that Nick thought that he had Djokovic? Because of him walking. After that first set he won, he was kind of, when you start doing tweeners in the second set and just doing stupid shots, to me, in my head, I thought, this guy thinks he has Novak already. And he doesn't. He better watch out.
Or just thinking too frivolously.
And like he would be up 40 love on his serve and then do stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
You could see the cockiness, and that was the wrong play.
For a moment in time, Did any of you watch the post-match interviews? Where a Novak and Kyrgios had a chance to get the microphone, receive their trophies, and talk for a minute? Did everyone see that? If not, I do want to mention one thing, and I'm curious to see if you agree with me or not. But you had to have seen it to have to answer this question, I guess, credibly. Kyrgios was introduced. They gave him the plate, and he came up and he said his thing, and great. And he went and stood back over, and then they called up Nole. They called up Djokovic. Okay, so Djokovic comes and gets his trophy, stands there, and first of all, I think it was the best post-match interview. And I've been watching Wimbledon. I was born in '77, born into a family that we had breakfast at Wimbledon in our living room as young as I can remember, with coaches and so forth, right? But I've never seen, and when I was young, I was not made to, but hey, we're going to watch this and watch how this gentleman presents himself when he speaks and so forth. I've never seen a better post-match interview, namely because of one huge thing that involved Nick Kyrgios. So we all know that Nick Kyrgios and Novak Djokovic over the years have taken swats at one another, namely on social media and so forth, about different things and vaccination statuses and blah, 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 blah. Novak Djokovic acknowledged that to the globe in front of everyone. At the same time he acknowledged that, he basically alluded to that everything, quote unquote, is now coming together for you, Nick. And because of that, we all need to kind of be careful. You know, we'll see you again. And if you look at Kyrgios in that moment, in that one moment, if you're an athlete, you look for things like this to see how much heart and how much passion people have. I've never seen this in Kyrgios before, but he shed a tear. He wiped the tear off his face, shook it off. He had his Jordan hat on. Much respect. You know, I love Jay's. Matter of fact, I got a new pair to show you. I just got them. I'm proud of them. I'll show you in a minute. This is more important than a pair of shoes, though. But he shed a tear in that moment. What do you think was going through Nick Kyrgios' head at that moment in time when the GOAT, in my opinion, I get on paper Nadal is that because he has more majors. I'm not going to beat on the dead horse, but generations from now that go back in history, hey, grandpa, who was the best player of all time? Or hey, grandson, who do you think? They're going to go to the history books and look at what?
I mean,
major count.
They're so close. I think
but what do you think was going through Nick Kyrgios' head at that point in time that he wiped the tear off his eye once Djokovic indicated, hey, basically Djokovic said, I'm sorry for the past. You gained my respect. I love you. I'm glad everything's coming together for you. And here you are. Congratulations. That's basically what Djokovic said, but in a much more gentleman-like way.
Yes, he was very
elegant.
I did like Novak's approach on that. He killed his enemy with kindness.
I don't think he's his enemy anymore. I think
he killed his enemy because he would talk a lot of smack with kindness.
Yeah.
I think Nick was one of the few that actually defended him at the Australian about him getting kicked out. But I'm sure that Nick probably realized, damn, I should have worked harder while I was younger.
Yeah, and also too, we must understand one thing that I know that myself and Carla and all of us have given grief to Kyrgios over the years because of a lot of his just childish antics, and even some of those antics he did today. But after the match, not before the match, not when the tournament started, not 10 years ago, but I'm talking after the match completed. He said his thing. I still don't believe he was a changed man, but when Djokovic said what he said. And in such a kind and welcoming way, Djokovic, in other words, hey, welcome to the club. We're good. Basically, he's telling him things are falling into place for you. To Nick, and I think Nick realized that right then and there, and he wiped the tear. It's my prophecy that Nick Kyrgios now is a routine figure at this depth in the tournament that he plays.
I'm sure he regretted. I mean, he acted like a total idiot in that final. First of all,
what final? Today?
Well, they told him don't wear the red hat.
Man, what? Are you really?
Stop. A rule is a rule, right? He's still testing them.
That was after the match.
But you're not supposed to wear it. He still wears the red hat when it's all white. Wait a minute. You're the guy here that talks about Wimbledon's traditions.
The tournament's over.
It's not over. You got freaking, what's her name? This is how much I found English. Kate Middleton giving him the trophy. Take off the hat. Number one, as a gentleman, take off your cap. Do you not take off your cap?
Okay, but I mean,
Justin, stop. You talk about old tradition. Take off the hat.
You always find
Except-
something negative for Kyrgios. He did his best. He just cried on the sideline. And now you're not around
Then
his hat.
Esty says Nick also said he wasn't looking forward to reaching another major final because he's so tired. Terrible reply.
Okay.
Come on, stop defending an idiot.
I don't see it that way.
Okay, but whatever.
Don't you? Have you ever said something you don't mean when you're mad?
Clarion said, yes, no reason to wear the red hat. They already fined you, and you're gonna go wear it again.
Have you ever said something that you don't mean when you're mad?
Many times.
Many times. I get mad and I'm like, shut up. I wish your cactus would fall over and poke your eyeballs out with the prickly things. But I don't mean it. I'm just mad.
Gossi, didn't my boy beat your boy, French Open? What are you talking about?
Hey, look at Stefanese.
He did play.
What's up, Stefan?
Of course, only for Djokovic. Like I told Rahesh put a post. He's on there right now. He was in tears. I said, wait a minute, I thought you don't watch tennis anymore. Oh, I was like, it's because Djokovic won. But congratulations.
Yeah, and Joey Chaz says Kyrgios is the hip hop culture. Do you agree? Doesn't that attract a whole nother avenue of people that tennis never had before? I mean,
Stefan said, did you notice that Novak during his speech said that he was inspired by watching Sampras win Wimbledon in '92, and Ivanisevic was like, what the fuck is he talking about? I lost that final to Agassi.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Wouldn't Nadal have? I think when you're hurt, you're hurt. And I'm sorry, but I think a stomach tear would be tough.
Because you can't extend.
You can't extend.
You go up for the serve. That's almost impossible. Yeah, your extension is off, and that means your serve's going to
Right now, I'm dealing with terrible back issue, and I couldn't hit a ball if I wanted to. It doesn't matter if I was playing my 6-year-old and I knew I could win the tournament, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, so yesterday we went, it was our 10th wedding anniversary. We've known each other longer than that, but 10th year wedding anniversary. And we went to New Orleans, and we had planned to stay the night, but her back was like crazy. So we got back home at like 2 in the morning, like 1 in the morning last night. Because when you're hurting like that, you kind of don't want to be in a hotel room on the 16th floor. You just want to be in your bed near a hot bath, potentially. So we drove back.
He didn't want me there, so he's like, "Let's go."
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to have someone going down on you in a city like that because it can be rough.
When you're hurting, you got to play Kyrgios and then Novak. No way, you shouldn't play. And why risk your career? He has more slams than anyone and knows that Djokovic is not going to play.
All right.
U.S. Open. Yeah, I'm just leaning to the left. But I'm just saying, when you're in pain, why would you be stupid, especially if you have a tear? He said he had a tear. Why would you risk that even more?
Well, there's chess involved there because if Djokovic can't play the U.S. Open, if Djokovic can't play the Australian Open, the next 2 majors, and before you know it, January will be here. We'll be watching Melbourne, and Cam Williams will be in his backyard. So. And shout out to him, by the way. So many matches we were able to partake in because of the play-by-play. But Djokovic may or may not be able to play those 2 tournaments.
He can't play U.S. Open. No, that's a fact. Unless he gets vaccinated. Which is stupid because no one here is walking around with masks in the United States.
No one at the All-England Club was wearing masks at the final.
It's such a stupid rule, like Flo said. We're being hypocrites. First of all, there's so many people. Let me tell you, I've had many students, and they're like, oh, I had COVID, by the way, 2 days ago. So? I'm like, I'm just telling you. This is what I'm saying.
I get it. That's my point. What I'm saying. My response
that's my point. That's my point. So you're gonna make someone.
We had it like 3 times.
Yeah, you're gonna make someone not play because of that.
Yeah, we've had it like 3 times apiece. Like three. I think our kids a couple of times. All the kids are vaccinated, but anyway, we won't get into that. It's not anybody's business either way. This is a tennis show, not a personal show. That's why Djokovic is in the stink place in the first place because he doesn't want to reveal his personal thoughts. I don't blame him. Let's go. But okay, squashing this topic, by the way, I asked, we got, off on this tangent when we were heading in this tangent. I asked, what do you think Kyrgios was thinking? I'm thinking that he realized when he shed that tear, whether any of you saw it or not, if you go back and watch it, I was going to record it and play it, but I think we would get copyrighted for that. So I did. But when Djokovic acknowledged that, hey, good job. Looks like everything's coming together for you. He wiped a tear off his eye. Kyrgios, he had his hat shading it, but you could see it and you could feel it. But I think Kyrgios at that point in time, in my opinion, because I've been through some things in my life, I won't get into that here, where freedom has been compromised for a long time and so forth. I know the feeling. And Nick Kyrgios looked to me that he was thinking something along the lines of, no matter what he said about how tired he was or what it took to get there, that's just his way. That's just like your rapper that raps about all this, but really they went to the Christian
Well,
school
that's like someone
up
you
the
tell.
street.
That's like an idiot.
He's just playing his
guy
role.
a bad boy. You tell him I love you, but I love you, baby.
Yeah. It's that's his act. So what I'm getting at is when he shed that tear, I feel like his mindset was like, I appreciate being here and I'm proud of being here, but no way am I going to let these people see me weak, so I'm going to lash out. I was the same way. It led me to a faraway place for a while, but and most importantly, as the fan, as the customer, as the person that watches these matches, that used to always hate Kyrgios and knock on his antics or the water bottle gestures or whatever it has been over the years. Nick Kyrgios is a human being. Nick Kyrgios B has emotions, and Nick Kyrgios C has feelings. I don't care what, if you have kids, if you have children, okay? I won't name any names, but one of our children was extremely hard to raise, extremely hard. Tested every amount of patience in my soul to the point of near heart attack them. And where is that one now? So you have to ask yourself, he is a basically a human being that has feelings, and we have to respect that. And I think now we will see less lashing out because of what Djokovic said to him in that post-match interview on center court Wimbledon for the globe to see. Great job, Djokovic, on the post-match, and good job, Nick Kyrgios, for shedding that tear. What did Tupac say? Huh? You remember what he said?
No, I don't follow rap.
Shed so many tears. All right. Anyway.
I don't follow rap.
Speaking of shoes, though, Nick Kyrgios did not wear his red low Jordans. He just wore his red hat. By the way, though, speaking of Kyrgios Jordans, I was able to get on a lottery. So this was a lottery, and I usually never win anything, right? We went to casino last night. We lost $60.
No, you lost.
In 7 seconds.
You lost.
You lost 5.
I lost 5. I'm smart.
Yeah. But I was lucky to get the original Jordan 1s, right? With the pink laces. Actually, it came with 2 sets of laces. Boom. You know, new in the box. I was really happy to get these. Excited. I wore them yesterday. We did a video in New Orleans yesterday. I put it out. It's under random things on playlist. But these are gnarly right here. Love them. And I'm excited about that. So we got them. Okay. Boom. Boom. Da, 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 da. Let the boys be boys. Slam. Da, 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 da. Let the boys be boys. Yeah. Okay. You got it. You remember that song, don't you? Was that Onyx? Onyx? Slam. Let the boys be boys.
Me too, SD. I can't wait to see little Justin what he do with tennis. I was talking to B-Dog, and he was like, look at his son. And I said, look, man, it's tough. I'm sorry, but I don't think Nadal's kid or Novak's kid or Roger's kids are going to be better than they are. No way. It's not going to happen. What made them better is that they had hunger. First of all, they didn't have the money. They had hunger. Maybe Nadal did, but they had hunger. And that hunger, and lucky. You got to be lucky, too.
I tell you what. I'll send someone $10. $10.
Giving money away.
Okay, well, how about 2 sets of strings? Because I lost that $50 in the casino.
No, I don't care. Yeah, I'd rather do the $10 because the shipping is crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, let's just scratch that and forget about the monetary payoff. Even though they're like, no.
Novak's kids, they're not going to have the same firepower as him. So I was telling him, there's 7-year-olds I've seen better than his kid, than Novak's kid, hitting the forehand like this. I've seen way better 7-year-olds at our club. Just saying, better than him. I've watched Novak's. I've seen other kids at local clubs. But anyways, this is baby tennis. You can't tell they're going to be great.
Now, by the way, I think Katie Crane and Jody Crane watched this. I'm not sure. If not, you can tell them at 23-42 or
their son is better than Novak's son. Miller. Way better than Novak's son. That's laughable when B-Dog said that. I was like, really?
Yeah, when I watch him play, speaking of Katie and Jody's son Miller, it's amazing because he only takes like a lesson like here and there. Like not a lot, and it's not for a long time. It's like split up with his sister, or used to be anyway. Mm-hmm. But he has found his sport, I would think. He gets it. Like he feels it.
He gets it. He listens. But also when I teach him, and he doesn't do baby bullshit.
No. He hits regular balls from the baseline with a 25-inch racket. He's not playing with a little teardrop, little baby. He's
and I promise you, he's not hitting this one.
Yeah, he's hitting the ball. He's doing really well. The ball. And the beautiful thing is our son is his same age, basically, off by like 8 or 9 months.
They're a year, because he's gonna be 8.
Yeah, so they have a bright future for sure.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, but I think those kids are not gonna be better than their parents. It might be better at something else, but not at that.
Speaking of Djokovic winning the tournament, just real quickly, let's look at his draw for a moment. I don't want to beat a dead horse. We've talked about every match, but in the first round, Djokovic played the Korean kid Kwon, who is no joke in himself. He's a solid player. Then he comes in and plays Kokkinakis in the second round. Kokkinakis is
got blown off.
But Kokkinakis is a good player.
I'm
not saying he was a threat, but Kokkinakis at one point in time was a future elite prospect.
Just like many.
Prospect.
Just like many.
Okay. Next, he comes in and plays his countryman in Momir Kekmanovic, solid player. I mean, again, he's outclassed by Djokovic, but it's not easy. But anything at this point is kind of easy for Djokovic, right? Then he takes on Van Richthofen, which, by the way, we know that he's really a challenger that just got kind of going at the warm up, and then all of a sudden he makes the fourth round of Wimbledon. But I think that was probably his easiest match, even though it wasn't. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He just had too much experience for him. Then Jannik Sinner, which was a difficult match. And then Cam Norrie. And we'll get into Cam Norrie in a moment. Some people call him Snorri because he's so damn boring. You just start Snorri when you damn see him play. And then he plays Kyrgios in the final. So he didn't have a walk in the park at all, right? In the meantime, if you go to Kyrgios' side, Kyrgios begins with, where are you, bro? Here you are. Kyrgios begins with Jub. I've never seen this kid play. And then Kyrgios rolls up against Krajinovic, who is a fellow Serbian of Djokovic. Then Kyrgios rolls up against Tsitsipas in an absolutely shit mess match. That was awful. The tennis was good, I guess, but the court conduct was so bad. I would never want to see that match again because it was just hideous. I'm surprised Kyrgios didn't get kicked out during that match. He's lucky to not have been, but again, I'm glad he didn't get kicked out. Then he had Nakashima, who is no joke, by the way. Nakashima's a solid player. Then he takes on Christian Garin, which was probably one of his easiest matches throughout the tournament, even though it just happened in the quarterfinals. And then luckily for him, Nadal pulled out and he didn't have a semifinal. So it was I think it was a good tournament for both players. And I think the best two players outside of Nadal, but he pulled out, made the final. And I think that the better player won.
Obviously.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
the third best player made it to the final. Nadal was out, and then the best player won.
Yeah, obviously. It would have been a shame, I think, if Nick would have. At the end of the day. I mean, it's a good message for Novak. Look, I got kicked out of Australia. Got my butt handed to me at the French, but then again, I did play the person who owns the surface.
4 times in a row now.
And now I won my slam. So yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yes.
And now Djokovic is, so Roger Federer has 8. He's alone with that number at Wimbledon. Then you have now Djokovic at 7.
So Djokovic would be number 7 in the world? So stupid. There's no point there.
Yeah, there's no point. It's so cheesy. Mm-hmm. Yet the next topic is going to have to do with Rybakina. Russia, lives in Russia, family lives in Russia, born in Moscow. And I should make it even more detailed, not just Russia. Moscow, the capital, Moscow, the capital, Moscow, the capital, lives there. A family lives there. The only reason why she has the flag Kazakhstan and she was able to even play is because 4 years ago, for money, she said she would play for Kazakhstan because they funded her tennis. We're going to get into that next topic, and I'm going to slam that bullshit. I'm going to go off. I might have 27 people unsubscribe when I go on a rant about that stupid shit. Meanwhile, the damn Duchess of wherever touches futches with her damn bullshit, Queen Elizabeth the 27th, with her diamond pearls over there sitting over the white gloves, talking about, ooh, I'm a puppet. I got billions of dollars and I have helicopters that my kids shouldn't use. Shut up. You look like a hypocrite. You got the damn Duchess of Cambridge hand the fucking trophy to a Russian when you banned her from the tournament. Duh. Why does it next year if the shit's still going on?
Well, that's what Trouble Mind said.
Why don't they just all say I'm playing for Italy? Fuck.
Well, that's what Trouble Mind said. The irony.
Van Lee, what's up? Van Lee was with me.
No, not Van Lee. Trouble Mind said.
Van Lee was with me.
But Trouble Mind said the irony. They handed the trophy to a Russian and an unvaccinated person.
Let's go, Van Lee.
He's allowed to have crushes on whoever he doesn't like blondes. He likes the opposite.
Who do I have a crush on?
No, he said Carla is just allowed to have crushes on blondes like you.
I don't like.
He likes dark.
I like the dark. Look. I don't know. I won't get into this now, but since I was very little, I don't know what it is. But African American girls or Spanish has always been I hate to say it. It's just been, I like dark skin. I don't know. It's just my thing.
Even though,
Blondies, I'm not too fond of blondies.
even though he never dated a Spanish girl, except me.
Yeah. When I was little in California as a surfer, I would get these magazines that were called Reef. It was a surf magazine, Surfer or Reef. And my mom out there can tell you, or my dad, but my dad was always out to sea or at the military base, whatever. But I would get Surfer magazine and Reef magazine, and I would cut out pictures and I would put them on my skateboard decks and then put clear grip tape over the top of it or put them in my room. And I'd always cut out the thong bikini pictures. And I would like post them on my wall, and I had bunk beds, even though I didn't have a brother sleeping up there. My sister had another room, and I would put like the pictures on my ceiling. So I look up and I have the Spanish girl with a thong with that deep Brazilian tan on my ceiling. I'd be like, damn, kind of like the Christmas Vacation. You remember the Christmas Vacation movie with the old man sleeping in the kid's bed, and he's looking up and he's like, whoa, and like everyone's asleep, and he's like just staring at the ceiling with a flashlight like this. See, that was me, but I was like 9. I had the hotties for the Brazilians and sisters a long time ago. I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Clarence said her parents could not come from Russia.
Clarence, the parents. This sounds like 8 Mile.
Clarion.
And Clarence
Yeah,
parents
I
have
mean,
real
at the end of the
parents.
day, I get it. She went to Kazakhstan. Okay, I agree with her. Russia's not going to help her. Totally agree with her move.
Doesn't mean you're not from there, though.
No, but she's from there. I mean, at the end of the day, she's from there. It's just funny that they purposely banned Russians and Belarusians.
Yeah.
And it's still,
Yeah.
I mean, who would have ever thought that Rybakina or
Rybakina's out there. Let's go, David Bullets.
Who would have ever thought that what's her name?
Rybakina. Now we hear
Rybakina.
Rybakina. Yeah.
Would have ever won Wimbledon. They never thought in a million years that would happen.
What's up, David Bullets? Really good to see you, bro. Haven't seen your name there in a long time.
That is Karma Mitrovic.
Let's go, David Bullets. Let's go. Yeah. Good to see you, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they didn't help her. What's Jabeur's best surface? I'm so confused now. I thought it was clay. I think her game suits her for grass from watching her play. Her slice is effective. Drop
Look at this comment, this person, and welcome. Clarion says, I'm guessing he's making relevance to Rybakina. Says her parents could not come from Russia for the event. Mm-hmm. That's kind of deep, right? Mm-hmm. Even the old parents can come watch their child. I mean, that's kind of shitty, right? Mm-hmm. The parents aren't participating in the tournament, so that's deep. That's actually so far the comment of the day. That's fucked up.
You guys always find something, right? So Nadal has won, but now because of his age, blah blah blah. Come on, guys, seriously, the numbers say it all. Djokovic should just play the U.S. Open. He should play the Australian Open. Then we won't have this discussion. But that's like me saying, well, because whatever, I got measles and I can't play. Come on, just fucking play the tournament.
You're missing the bus. In order for him to play, he's got to jab something in his arm that is against his personal
beliefs.
Yeah,
but Alpha says Djokovic's too good. He's the GOAT. Even if he doesn't play U.S. Open, he will end up with more slams than Rafa.
Good point.
35
I
is
agree
young.
with you. I agree with you.
But I've been waiting 3 years. 25, 26 guys. We're supposed to be at 26 already at this point.
I agree, but
we at 26?
You'll get that.
We at 26.
I agree. Who made that
Career Grand Slam Olympics? Did it happen? No, the Olympics he lost early and he cried like a little baby at the U.S. Open.
B-Doggo 2.
You know what?
Says poetic justice. That's one of my favorite
I'm not
movies,
ignoring your stats. Gene, I'm not ignoring your stats. What happened? Djokovic won the final against the Australian Open. What did you say, Gene? I'm not trying to ignore your stats. Trust me. You're like the last person I would ignore the stats. Let me go back to his stuff. Because he says I'm ignoring his stats. Let me go back.
Yeah, that's okay.
Maybe I missed something.
And by the way, Gene, we love you a lot, man. You work,
okay, so
you
Gene
work
says
really hard.
this is
Thank
the
you,
slowest
Gene.
ranked player Djokovic has faced in the slam final since 2008 Australian Open final, which was against Tsonga. He won the final 4 sets too.
That's an irrelevant stat though, because Kyrgios didn't play for a long time. During COVID, he took like what, a year and a half off.
And then his next one was Djokovic has also won the most slams after turning 30 with 9 now. Just
that's a good stat.
Yeah, I didn't mean to I'm serious. Yeah, like you're like one of the few that I would not, I wouldn't ignore at all.
Yeah. You're a good man.
William Spencer said Nadal wins French Open, beating 4 top 10 players. Novak beats I mean, in reality, even if we're Novak and Djokovic fans or whatever fans we are, at the end of the day, you got to respect them all for winning, right? I mean, they're all great champions. They've all done amazing things. The stat that they came out with, combined 3 of them have won how many? 60-something slams. That is incredible. You got to give it up to those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
By the way,
What's up, Trump, Mary?
hey, good to hear from you as well. Haven't seen you in a while, bro. Hope you're okay. By the way, we were talking about Rybakina for a moment, and you know that she is from Russia. Her parents live in Moscow. She was born in Moscow. She lives in Moscow. She just takes money from Kazakhstan, and she says she plays for Kazakhstan. Whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But you know who's very similar? Not quite as bad, but you know who's very similar is Cam Norrie. Cam Norrie, born in South Africa, played for New Zealand already as I think a Davis Cup a team or ATP Cup team. I think it was Davis Cup though. ATP Cup is the switchover after the Davis Cup was alleviated. That's my last name. We kind of grew up on the Davis Cup. That's our last name. Carla Justin Davis. That's our name. Like for real. Anyway, so that goes without saying. We used to have the Davis Cup posters on our walls in our home, right? Anyway, but Norrie's the same way. Norrie had the crowd on their feet in Britain like they were fixing to have. Look, we have Hendon Hill. We have a Norrie Knoll. Is that what's coming next? And he's not even from there. I think that's kind of strange. Anyway, do we need to even discuss that?
I know it's strange to see me with this hat. I'm only wearing it because just
I made her wear it.
You know how I'm only here because I don't want to get fined. I'm only wearing the hat because he asked me to.
I made her wear it because Florence Chan sent me this one, and I look. I love this hat, and I almost never wear.
I don't even wear a Rafa hat, by the way.
Yeah, she doesn't wear a ball cap.
That's the funny thing. I wear a Roger Federer hat before Rafa hat, and that's the funny thing.
And so, no, she likes the look of them, but she wears a 5K visor. By the way, we have 5K visors. I'll show you. Go ahead and take a question. So we have 5K visors, right? So I'll show you. See? So we have them in red.
Yeah, I wear my own brand. Because you know what?
We have blue.
At the end of the day, Novak, Nadal, and Federer don't give a shit about any of you guys.
Here,
just saying. Just saying. No, I don't want to wear a new one. I'm good.
Put that on.
At the end of the day, those guys don't give a shit about you. Come on, man. They're millionaires. Yeah. At the end of the day, they might say, hi.
We got the blue hats.
What's your name? Blah, 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 blah. Come on.
We got a lot of them. So yeah.
Ryan May says I'm gonna go play for Jamaica next weekend because I looked up jerk chicken, so now I'm Jamaican.
Let's go, Ryan.
Me too, man. Jamaica. I'm so tired of the go debate. Just enjoy the freaking guys. At the end of the day, they don't know you. They don't know me. They don't know him. Who gives a shit? Just saying.
Yeah.
Come on, man. This looks like defending your politician, yet they don't know that you even exist.
That shit's funny too. Playing for Jamaica. Right. That's true though. I mean. Ryan makes a good point. It's comical, but think about it. Ryan could very well say, call Jamaica and say, hey, if you help my career, if I go to a tournament, I'll say I'm from Jamaica. It's no different. It's no damn different. Color of skin, in our opinion, in my opinion, is irrelevant. We all bleed the same. That's irrelevant. You look. I always ask Carla. I was like, you know, you go to Mexico City, and some of the Spanish people are lighter than me, and I'm very fair skinned, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Sometimes the mixed children look so beautiful. They just doesn't. I don't mean to get reproduction, but do you know what I'm saying? They always come out so unique. Anyway, also too, I wanted to give a shout out to the country of Japan. We never delve off into geopolitics here, as you all know. We're tennis players, and tennis is an international language. How many Japanese players can you name? Many. I'm sure most of you are just going to hone in on Nishikori, but there's been many. We've talked about the Russian-Ukrainian war. We've talked about the chess match going on between Russia and Ukraine on the battlefield. We've talked about everything, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Brown did leave Jamaica. Now who he's playing for?
So, by the way, finish the shout out because it's important. The past Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated in Japan, and a lot of you are like, "Hey, we live in the United States, and there's 27 shootings every 2 weeks, right?" But it's a big deal when a geopolitical leader such as Shinzo Abe, who is, if I remember correctly, the longest reigning prime minister in Japanese history, which goes back a very long freaking time, long before the USA was thought of. The only thing I want to say to this is the world is changing. The world is changing rapidly. And so rapidly, I don't think some of us human beings with children realize that we have to raise our children even better at this point. There is no time to not dedicate to your children. Let me tell you about one thing last night that I saw, and this was after we got home from New Orleans 1 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep because I drank a bunch of coffee just to get us home because it was so late. And I got here and I turned on Sports Center. And B Dog, if you're out there, I know B Dog probably saw this. Maybe not. Anyway, if anybody did, it's B Dog. I was watching a segment of the Washington Wizards NBA player, which I love basketball a lot. I love to play it. Bradley Beal, Beal, Bradley Beal, Beal. He signed a $251 million 5-year contract and could have left to go to other teams to chase a championship, like the likes of Kevin Durant and so many other people that have to go somewhere to win something and can't just build a nucleus or just live with the fact that I'm going to be loyal to this place no matter if I win or lose. If I never get a championship, that's okay. I'm going to make a presence for myself and my family, and I'm going to donate to this place and become a mecca of my own nucleus. I'm going to become the nucleus of this town. So Bradley Beal accepted his $251 million year, becoming one of the highest, I think actually the highest player paid per year in current NBA basketball. $251 million is guaranteed money. That's $250 million. And let me tell you what he said. He accepted it. He sat at the press conference and a reporter asked him this, something along the lines of, hey, how do you feel about this signing? How do you feel about, your life at this point? And blah, 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 blah. I had mad respect for this dude after this comment. And I'm going to quote it. And I did my best to write it down because I had to hop up with no shirt on and I was in bed. It was 3 a.m. I had to find my pen. So I tried to quote it as best I can.
Many thanks to Justin for driving me.
Okay, I wrote this.
Seriously, he drove. How did you drive, babe, last night?
Coffee.
Yeah, that was tough.
Okay, I wrote this from my heart. I was like freestyling at 3 a.m. I had to put it on paper. I had to. Okay, so homeboy says something along lines like this. I'm guessing his sons were sitting in front of him in the audience as he was signing this. And he says something along these lines. And I mean, I'll try to emulate his mindset. He was definitely for real. He's from St. Louis, Missouri, by the way. And whereas someone would usually be like, yo, I got this, man. I'm gonna win championships. Yo, I got this. No, he was in a suit. He put his hat on. And he says, I respect your question. And I look at my sons that are sitting here, or his family. And he looks at them and he says, the only thing I think about what I can do is not about the money. It's not about the fame. Hence why I want to stay here. I don't care. He's basically alluding to the fact he doesn't care if he wins championships or not, but he'll be there for his team to be loyal. But most importantly, he said, I look at my sons over there and I try to think how I can raise them to even have a possibility to make it in this world in which we live in today. The world was much different. And he's young. I'm 44, man. I'll be 45 in November. But the world I lived in 1995 was like Dwizda with nowhere. It's totally different. He said, and I further that he said there was 22 shootings in 4 days in St. Louis. 22 shootings in 4 days in St. Louis. In the United States of America, so far this year, there has been over 200 mass shootings, multiple fatalities because of some lunatic out there. And all I'm saying is this gentleman, soldier, Novak Djokovic type basketball player, straight up said, in lieu of getting $250 million, he wasn't throwing his diamonds around. He was straight up saying, I hope and pray I can raise my boys good enough so they can come up in the world that we currently live in. Okay? Bradley Beal deserves my respect. Go, bro. It's exactly how I feel about my kids. Why am I so tough on my kids? Why? The same freaking thing he said. The world will shit you out, fuck you in the ass while you're trying to get through it. And then say, go to sleep, and I'm going to hit you even harder. Let's go, Bradley Beal. Great job, bro. Let's go. Come on.
So,
go, Wizards.
Vanley asked you a question. I'm trying to find it now. He asked you, who would you bet money on, $60 on Serena or Federer? I'm still trying to find it, that they would win would have a better chance of winning. Okay, Justin, would you rather bet $60 on Serena or Federer winning one more?
Do I have to choose either one, or can I take both of those as one bet?
You do.
I have to choose one.
I'm not depressed. I'm actually in pain, Sister the Queen. I'm not depressed. I'm like hunched over because of my back.
We had to leave.
It has nothing to do with depressed. We were celebrating our anniversary and we had to leave last night instead of leaving later on today, which bummed me out. But yeah, that's why I'm like that. I'm hunched over.
She's attentive. Most people wouldn't have noticed that.
I don't.
Carla's been
I'm not
a rough go for a couple
I'm
days.
not 100%. I promise. No. It has nothing to do with Nola. Great for him. Seriously. At the end of the day, the better guy won. The Nola hat is because he said I had to wear it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I made her wear the hat.
Yeah.
And I was gonna wear that hat because this one, which it's limited, and Florence Chan out there sent it to me, so I don't like to wear it. Kind of like a lot of my shoes that I get, I don't like to wear them. I just like to look at them and just keep them in a box, knowing that they're gaining value. And even it's kind of like getting an old baseball card.
Thank you. I am feeling a lot better. Yesterday I had a hard time walking once we ate dinner. I think he realized that I was definitely like not even there.
Yeah, we spent. No, long story short, if you look at Sister the Queen, if you look at the playlist random things on this channel, I put out a video yesterday. We went to New Orleans, and I just put together a bunch of clips in Louisiana, New Orleans, and put them out there. But at the end of the video, I didn't say anything about the video, but Carla couldn't really walk, not even breathe well. She didn't drink anything. It had nothing to do with that at all. But she had like some.
My lower left
some
back,
really bad pain.
It hurt, and then it went to my oblique, and then my lower left abdominal. I felt like I was giving birth. It was horrible.
Yeah, and she's had 5 kids, so when she said birth, you know, it's okay. Oh shit.
I'm better now, but I could still feel it. It's like it's not comfortable for me to sit.
Yeah.
It's better for me to like either lay flat or on my stomach. Otherwise, I could feel the pressure in my back.
So we were on the 16th floor of this hotel, and it was like 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night. We lived about 3 hours away, and I saw Carla. She was all hunched over, and I was thinking hot bath would be good for her, but the room we had only had a shower, and I kind of laid there, and she was like all uncomfortable, and I'm like, we're gone. I was like, I'll get us home. I had a couple of drinks. I mean, I wasn't bad, and so I kind of made sure I was good to go. And okay, I knew I was good to go. We got in the car and rolled out. I got like a big, huge cup. It wasn't coffee I got. It was like, it said when I went into the gas station, hit the button, it said extra caffeinated hot chocolate. So I hit the button.
I don't know what is rakia, Mitrovic? I don't know what that is.
Who?
What's rakia?
I don't know. You should drink some rakia. I've never heard of that. Good idea though. Okay. Anyway, let's go to the women's final just for a moment. Not necessarily to break down the match, and we can. We watched it for the second time today as we were writing for the material tonight. The thing I had a problem with was Kate Middleton, who, by the way, is a beautiful girl.
She's a very elegant lady.
She's elegant.
Her son is beautiful.
Yeah.
I remember her husband. Jesus Christ, what's
Prince something? Prince Edward, Prince
William?
Charles, Prince William. Yeah, one of those.
He was
princes.
A very good-looking guy.
Yeah. He lost his hairline. He's bald now.
You should just shave that. I will go lay down. No, not to worry. I will go lay down. I wanted to do the show. I didn't want people to think that I'm bumming out on Djokovic, which I'm not. I mean, seriously. It's, all great that I'm serious. Like I told Justin, I can't believe this idiot is in the final. Better guy won. Seriously, he deserves it after everything he's been through.
All right. I just wanted to make sure I said before I started this segment that I mentioned Kate Middleton is a pretty girl. Again, Carla's my girl. I like the sisters, and I like the amigas. But nonetheless, I'm telling you, she's got dark hair and dark eyes too. But anyway, she's a pretty girl. But the thought of her giving a Russian, I don't care. Look, yesterday I put a post on our Facebook page, which is either 5K Tennis or Justin Carla with the C space Davis. I put a post out there that kind of funny that the Duchess of Cambridge is giving the Wimbledon trophy to a Russian, and they banned the Russians from playing. And I got hit with all this stuff. She's not Russian. She's from Kazakhstan. I'm thinking to myself, did any of these fucking idiots have any clue what they're talking about? 4 years ago, 2018, Rybakina begins to play under the flag Kazakhstan. We've done shows. It's not about her. Forget about this. Isn't her. I'm not dissing her at all.
She's fine.
She's one of the many. Cam Nori, Naomi Osaka. How many players out there have sold their soul?
I don't think that she's necessarily sold her soul.
But she changed flags for the money.
There's some.
How is that not selling your soul?
There's some that have done it because their tennis careers would not go forward.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I cannot
She's Russian,
Justin?
and Kate Middleton handled the flag. Now, by the way, I say go Russia because I have Russian friends.
No,
Just because Vladimir Putin and his army do shitty things doesn't mean all the Russians are bad. Go Russia. I love the Russian people. Both of us have many Russian friends.
I don't think she sold her soul.
And they're great people.
She didn't sell her soul, but I don't think Rybakina had no emotions, by the way, after she won that slam. It was kind of very dead, very odd. I agree with you. I think she'll be a one slam wonder as well. We'll never see that again.
She looked pretty good, and she's young.
23, she won't win another slam. Not that she's old. I don't think we'll see that again.
She's young, though.
But do you see her personality in it?
But she could win Wimbledon again if she can play that way next year.
If she could play
that way next year, she'll win Wimbledon again. She played like Kvitova used to play. She played the way Kerber used to play. She hit through the ball. She had a little variety. Her serve was
I guess
popping.
you could say to the Russians in your face, but I would get her parents out of Russia. Now that she's won this money, I would get her parents out of Russia.
It's not that easy.
True.
It's not that easy.
But
bro.
yeah, B-Dog, looking at it, I mean, if I'm in her place, and let's say the United States would not help me with my career, and I think I'm talented enough that I can get my career going, and I need the help, otherwise my career is over, and I have to, like you always say, I don't know what I'm going to do without tennis. What would I do with my life? Think about what she thought in her head. What is she going to do? That's the only thing she knows how to do, Justin.
Tap the bottle and twist the cap.
You would have done the same thing. You would have done the same thing. You would have done, she would have, you guys would have all done the same thing.
You know,
if your family needed food in the table and a roof over their head, and some other company that was the enemy of whatever this company or different whatever, not you would take that job.
Yeah.
Just saying. So you can't go bad at her. Some players like Osaka, they have the choice.
Yeah.
That's different. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and look, good for her. Fun player to watch. Van Lee just said it himself. Agreed with me in that she was kind of Kvitova-esque in a way. Let me put it this way. Kate Middleton delivering that trophy to Rybakina was strange. If you're just tuning into tennis for the first time or know us because you're family and watch the show and really don't know, understand Rybakina is not new to the game. She's been around. We covered her for years.
We talked about her, picked her in our
She's Russian. Her family lives in Russia. She lives in Russia. She's from Russia. I'm talking not just any town. She's from Moscow.
William Spencer said what pissed me off was the journalist questioned to Lena about Russia when she was presented the trophy, asked to speak against her country. Wait, let me go back up.
It's good to see the chat on fire.
She
Let's
won
go.
The
Come
trophy.
on.
She was asked to speak against her country leader. They've been They've been chucking people in jail for criticizing leadership. And then Van Lee said she hasn't posted on Instagram in 4 days. Did Putin murk her?
That's possible. I don't know.
That's not funny.
Look, you know, again, geopolitical things interest me. I love studying it. I love playing chess. Hence why tennis goes hand in hand. Propaganda is most of what you hear. There's always two sides to every story, and generally, even those two sides have two other sides, which exponents to 4, and then to 8, and then to 16, and then to 30, 32, and so forth. It doesn't really bother me necessarily. That the fact of the matter
I do like her tennis.
Yes, I like it as well.
I like her aggressive tennis, and I'm happy that she beat Halep because I feel someone like Patrick Matagalu, who is conceited, who has no sense of what morals are. I believe that for me, it brought me joy when Rybakina beat Halep. Just saying.
Yeah,
now, should what's her name? Jabeur won? Probably.
I don't think so. I think Rybakina was the better player.
She won the first set, was up 1 game, right? She was up a break and didn't take advantage of it.
Let me ask you a question, Carla.
Too much slicing and dicing. But yes, Rybakina was the better player.
Let me ask you a question. For 10 years, long before we thought about sitting down in front of a camera, we're talking shit in the kitchen, right, about tennis. Weren't you and I talking about Rybakina coming out of juniors long before we talked about Jabeur? Yeah. We've been talking about Rybakina for much longer than doing the show. We started talking about Jabeur as she started to kind of get into it, right? Tell me we haven't. Look, I'm not saying Rybakina is like a lot of people did when Raducanu won a major. She's about to be the GOAT. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm telling you that right now, let's just throw Raducanu. I forgot who she is because she sucks so bad. But Raducanu, let's put Raducanu and Rybakina next to each other. They both won a major recently. Which player do you think is better between the two of them?
No, Rybakina for sure.
Do you even have to think about it?
Stroke for stroke, technique and everything. Yes, I agree.
If Raducanu stepped on the court right now, even at the All England Club with home field advantage, and played Rybakina, what would be the final score? Put it in comments. Put that shit in comments. I want to see what it is. If you think that, I want to know what you would predict the score being if you were a betting man or lady. In comments now about what you would think if Raducanu played Rybakina or Rybakina right now. What do you think the score would be? How many sets?
You know,
I'm taking 2-2 Rybakina.
Mitrovic, I think we need a superstar to come through.
Yeah.
We need a women's superstar to dominate. We are missing that. The same thing that we're gonna miss in the men's. Once Djokovic and Nadal retires, the same thing we're gonna miss in women's. We need that superstar. Where it's gonna come from, I don't know. I know it's not Rybakina, but we are missing that superstar, that phenom. You know, we definitely are. I don't think we'll see it though. I think all the girls hit the same, which is the sad part.
Okay. By the way, Ons Jabeur jinxed herself. I wish she would never have done this. I like Jabeur a lot, but she really opened herself up for an issue. And let me tell you what she did. During her post-match interview, which she gave a great interview, wonderful spirit, very much a patriot for her country. And she didn't realize what she said, but I saw it. And I'm like, oh, shit, I got to write this. So I wrote it. Okay, right in the middle of this page, like right here. Where is this at? Like right here, yeah. Okay, right here. Jabeur jinxed herself. You see it? Jabeur jinxed herself. Do you know how she jinxed herself? She said during a press conference, one of the reporters asked her, her thoughts on losing this final and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay. She responded very ladylike and wonderful, but just said one thing you can't ever say. She said, I will win many Grand Slams for sure, so that's okay. You can't do that. You just jinx yourself. If you proclaim that you're going to win multiple NBA championships or you're going to win multiple Super Bowls before it even happens, chances are your chances just got worse, right? We saw this, right? Press conference, great, but oh my gosh, to say that, it's going to bite. It's going to come back and haunt her. Do you think Ons Jabeur will win a major, especially after just saying that she would? In other words, prophesizing that she's going to win a major. Do you think that comes back and bites her in the butt? Like,
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
How old is Jabeur?
Mm-hmm.
Is Jabeur in her late 20s?
Gotta be careful with that.
Jabeur has to be in her late 20s.
Yeah. Who was the last baseball player in Major League Baseball? Probably no one watches that out there but me. I'm a big San Francisco Giants fan. She's a Yankees fan. Anyway, who was the last baseball player to walk up on the plate in a clutch situation, point out to left field, call out the home run, and then take it? Right? I know Hank Aaron did it a couple of times. I know Babe Ruth did it. I think once. That's iconic. But most people that proclaim greatness before it actually happens, it ends up not happening. And it almost seems like the chances are expedited. It doesn't happen when they make those type of comments. Mm-hmm. You can't be that confident. You just have to stay humble and keep working. Right? By the way, when we woke up this morning and the Djokovic Kyrgios match was coming on, they had the breakfast at Wimbledon, like on ESPN. And for an hour, you have to watch, the club stuff and how stuff works in the grass and introduce the players and blah, 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 blah. And the players warm up. But right at the beginning of it, if you saw this, Brad Gilbert and Darren Cahill were talking about something along the lines of what separates a good grass player and not, or how to move on the grass court. I forget. But the segment was called, and let me tell you this, let me reiterate. Brad Gilbert, who's a fine coach, fine guy, but he's kind of cheesy as a commentator. He's kind of goofy. But I love Brad Gilbert, right? Right? You agree? Mm-hmm. I love Brad Gilbert. And I love Darren Cahill. Love Darren Cahill. Great coach, great guy. Love them both. This is not about them as a person. This is about ESPN as a production company. So the segment was called Killa, Killa, Killa and BG. Now, by the way, when I was young, we had a lot of involvement in the hip hop scene. We used to go to freestyle rap battles and so forth. We'll get into that now. But there used to be a rapper around here called BG, and many of them was some suffix of Killa. So I'm like, I hear I hear when I wake up, it's like 5:50 in the morning. I'm waking up and I turn on the TV and I hear this is the segment of BG and Kill. I'm like, damn, New Orleans in the house. And I turn on the TV and it's damn Brad Gilbert and Darren Cahill. Come up with a better name than Killer and BG on ESPN at Breakfast in Wimbledon. Didn't fit the narrative. Also, the next segment following that was even worse. It was a segment with kind of like tennis shots that were shockingly good, even though they weren't. And you know what the topic was? Bangers and smash. What? Breakfast at Wimbledon at 6 o'clock in the morning. We had slept for just like 3 hours, right? It was the following segments. Look it up. Google that shit if you think I'm lying. ESPN first segment, Killer and BG, all up at Breakfast at Wimbledon. The second segment, the second one, was Bangers and Smash. Do you get where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
We got Killer, BG, Bangers and Smash. We got Cahill and Brad Gilbert. I don't know. You got to come up with a better name than that. Okay? Cringy. Nah. All right. By the way, when Novak Djokovic entered this match, he had never won one set from Nick Kyrgios. They played twice in 2017. I think one at Indian Wells and I think another one at Acapulco. And they were both tight matches, but Djokovic had never won a set over Kyrgios. Over the past, 4 years, 5 years, Kyrgios has openly said, quote unquote, how can you call yourself the best in the world when you never even beat me? Much less you never even won a set.
Your voice okay, man?
Yeah, I lost my voice. Anyway, it's really, really nice to see after all that Kyrgios shed the tear today. And I really do feel like after that, I think Kyrgios will be much more apparent on the tennis scene until his body will allow him to do so.
Cahill is coach of Sinner.
Good for him. Good knowledge drop, Gene Sport.
I had a friend that lived in Deerfield Beach as well. I used to visit her there a lot. I know Green Acres. Yeah, I used to. So my coach, Green Acres, is one of the parks I trained at. I forgot the other big one. It was close to the highway. It was a huge park. That's where I trained. Lived in West Palm. Lived in Fort Lauderdale, North Miami. Went to school at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Been around. Lived in Panama City Beach. Yep.
All right.
Justin, how would you schedule next calendar next year? Who cares?
Who? Well, what's a good question? If he's going to spend time and take care of his body, right? If he's actually going to, I think he has a steady love life now. Mm-hmm. You know, I know he's got this stuff handling. He got a face in some summons about abuse or whatever. Anyway, there was a girl sitting in his box that seemed relatively loyal for a couple of weeks, a fortnight. It seems like he had an active team now at this point. His dad was there with his hat on. He was relatively collective during the entire tournament, less than 60 pots match. Mm-hmm. And he shed a tear when Djokovic acknowledged that he was in his club now. That's a big deal. How would I schedule his year if he was going to put in the work? Definitely playing all the 1000s. Every one of them, maybe on clay because it's not a surface. We know that. Mm-hmm. Maybe just play like Madrid and that's it. Or 250, 500 just for the experience. And then maybe 1000 and then the French. I definitely let him play the French. So then he stays crisp heading into the Wimbledon double. So how many players in history have completed the French Open or Roland Garros, the RG Wimbledon double? In other words, coming off one surface that's the slowest and shifting to the fastest surface by far and slipperiest surface, and then win both. We know Nadal has, I think, done it twice. I think Roger Federer did it once. I think he did it once. I think Djokovic has done it once, maybe twice. But it's difficult to do. But for Kyrgios, you definitely want him. You definitely got to get him the Australian Open. It's his backyard. So he would play. What's the first one? Like New Zealand or Auckland, and there's another one, Brisbane or whatever, and then play the Australian Open.
Sister the Queen said Nick and Federer are about to have the same calendar in 2023.
Probably. Then you're going into the clay season. So or Indian Wells, and Indian Wells would be that short hardcourt mini season. So you put Indian Wells in there, and then you would do what's the other one? Miami. Okay, and then you're shifting to clay. So maybe 250, maybe 1000 just to keep it chill, and then the French Open. Then you're shifting over to grass. Maybe do Eastbourne or Nature Valley or whatever. or Hala.
I wouldn't even think too much about Nick's schedule.
10, 12
I'm sorry.
tournaments. Yeah.
I would not worry too much about Nick's schedule. There's other players that are more important. How will Alcaraz do? How will Zverev do coming back from injury? Those are questions that I would ask myself.
Alcaraz will not do as good next year as he did this year. He will not. Nope. He's a good player.
I disagree with you. I don't
think he'll do better. He might do close to the same,
I don't think
he'll do better.
No, I disagree with you. I don't think this is his year. I think that he'll get better, and as the guys get older.
We'll see. I hope so.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people get older, people figure them out, and they just tend to get worse in terms of numbers. Look at Rybakina, who
I think he's humble enough that he could be good enough.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think that we'll see a lot of Alcaraz and Sinner competing against each other.
Whoever studies the most playbook material and whoever keeps broadening the horizons in terms of learning new tactics will be the players that move forward. But the players that don't, they'll be like Karatsev, they'll be like Rybakina, and we've talked about this for 4 years on this channel.
Ryan. Alcaraz has to be careful about playing too much. I agree.
Yep.
That's
another thing.
Yep.
That's a fair point. Okay, and ending the show, by the way, you guys all know that for every major we do a big time prize giveaway for 2 competitions. A, predicting the men's finalists, the women's finalists and winners, and B, fantasy teams. For the past 6 majors, no one has won the $100 pot for predicting the men's finals, women's finals, and both winners. That has accumulated a pot of $700 US, $700 US for the US Open. The only thing you have to do, it's free to apply. Just subscribe. Gene Swart out there and Thomas Chi. I haven't seen Thomas Chi too active here lately. Hopefully he's well. I know he's studying for school. But Gene Swart, much love to you. And Gene Swart, hopefully you are taken care of monetarily. And it was our privilege to take care of you because you do a really damn good job. You're like Djokovic, but on the computer. Anyway, $700 is going to go out for the U.S. Open for anyone that can predict the men's finals, the women's finals, and both winners. And we'll continue to add to that pot. And also, we will do the same as always, 2 fantasy teams where winners get $50. So don't forget that for the U.S. Open, this is going to start right back up. And the U.S. Open starts at the beginning of next month. For the next couple of weeks, we'll probably do 1 show, maybe 2 shows a week, something like that. Again, if you've been a part of the channel for a while, you know this. We do shows as much as we can during majors, and because of our schedule, coaching and 5 kids, we have 5 of our own children, and one of them is coming home from the Air Force Academy tomorrow. So, Jonathan, welcome home in advance.
I'm so happy. I hope that I'm better when he gets home tomorrow.
So we have a 20-year-old son. Believe it or not, he is heading into his junior year.
Oh, I didn't really
at
drink.
the United States Air Force
Eleanor,
Academy.
I couldn't drink that much.
Nah,
I couldn't even finish my drink last night.
Yeah. She didn't drink much of anything.
No, I'm sorry.
She wanted to, but she couldn't because she was in pain. Watch that video though. Go to the download show yesterday and check out the video. I videoed the whole thing.
My husband did to take me shopping to Lululemon, so I got myself a pair of shorts and a shirt, which is great. He said, "Don't look at the price, just grab it."
You shouldn't.
Which I always look at price.
And still, by the way,
I look at price because I'm a very cheap person. I have a hard time spending money on clothes. He told me, "Get your favorite bag, the Munchin bag." And I didn't want to because I'm like, I just can't do it. I don't care how much money I have or how little. I just can't do it.
So look, Carla has always had a desire since I've known her, at least for the most part. And this is humble. Carla has always wanted one of these small. It's not even big. It's just kind of small. It's like this big. One of these Munchin, which I think the name of the company on the back, it says M as in Mike, C as in Charlie, M as in Mike. She's always wanted one of these little Munchin bags, like the tan one, right? And lo and behold, we come into the hotel and we open the door, and what's right in front of us? A Munchin or an MCN store.
Yeah. Told me grab it.
I was like, get it. You know, I said, just get it. It was like $900, and
I could not do it.
She worked so hard, so damn hard. And I was like, Carly, you've never bought yourself anything, and since I've known you, because you always want to give it to the kids, and that's fine. I appreciate that. And I was like, Carla, please, you've taught nonstop for 7 months with nonstop. Get the bag. I was like, please, here's my wallet. Buy your bag. And she put it back because she said she would rather give it to the kids. And I was like, look, we'll still give the same amount to the kids. Just get the bag, and then we'll get the same amount to the kids. Jeez, we worked our ass off. Shit. Most people go to, on vacation for a week. We went on vacation for 8 hours and had to come back because you really were hurting. I wish you would have gotten the bag.
I didn't want to. I told my husband, I said, I can't spend money so stupidly when I know that my 13-year-old daughter, I want her to play tournaments. And for me, my dream is for her to have a full scholarship, whether it's academic or tennis wise. My dream for all my kids is to have their school paid for. That is my dream. I don't dream more than that. Pros, you have to be very lucky.
I'm so proud of you.
I know, I've been in those shoes.
I've been in these shoes.
Guilty pleasures, family? Not really. I'm not a materialistic person, I can tell you that. I helped my mom clean houses when she had to work 3 jobs. I remember helping my dad cut grass, clean bathrooms when he had his lawn service. I can remember when my parents had no food.
Sound like young Jesus.
I've been through a lot. So for me to spend money on materialistic stuff is very tough for me to do to this day. I can't do it. For me, I could give a shit about Louis Vuitton bag or.
I still want you to get your money back.
I can't do it because of what I've seen my parents go through and the struggles in life. I just can't. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's hard.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard for me to get Carla anything because everything we have is connected. So if I go to the store and buy this, so I can't buy her a surprise gift because anytime you see it, and vice versa. So it makes it kind of tough. But she should get her luncheon bag. You should, and hopefully one day you'll actually do it. I would go ahead and get it. Wouldn't even ask you, but you would know anyway. It wouldn't be a surprise.
I don't want you to.
Yeah,
I think I want to see the kids get through school, and then I'll have those guilty pleasures if I can do it.
All right. In ending, this was a 100-sheet notebook. I just finished the last page. As always, usually every major I try to get through a whole notebook. So I had a half a page to go, but it's been kind of fun. As every major. That is gone. So, guys, thanks so much for everything.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we will see you.
We will have a tournament this upcoming weekend.
That's right. We do have our own tournament this weekend. Yes.
2 of our viewers are on there. Ryan Mason, wish him good luck. And SD Tennis, wish him good luck. Did I enjoy this Wimbledon? I actually did.
I did.
The right person won in the men's. The women's was shocking. I felt like Amanda Anisimova should have won that. She had her opportunities, but I actually disagree. She should have been.
Anisimova should not have won the tournament.
I'm saying she had her opportunity to beat Halep. I felt like that would have been.
She got smoked.
Some players don't match well. You should know that.
She have opportunities.
You should know that some players don't match well.
Yeah,
you should know that. Okay.
I get it.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it was great to see the English have to give the trophy to the ones that they didn't want to. So yeah, I'm good with that. Thank you, Trouble Vine.
We always, in between majors, because of our coaching schedule, it's tough to do a show every day or every other day and commit to it, but we always do a show every Sunday or Monday in between majors. So we'll do a show for sure. Actually, our oldest son, Jonathan, our 20-year-old, comes home tomorrow. We pick him up from the airport at noon. I can't wait. And we'll do a show and have him wave hello. But we'll definitely do a show every couple of days or every 4 or 5 days until the U.S. Open comes. So
you might record the tournament, maybe.
Yeah, and
my son's playing with my daughter, even though he hasn't played in a year.
Yeah,
my dad's playing too, maybe.
So can I ask you a question for those of you that are still there? We have our own tournament. Carl and I, we coach at Mirror Lake Racket Club, which we're very blessed to do so. It's a beautiful facility. In my opinion, one of the most beautiful clubs I've ever been a member of. And I've been in clubs since I was very young. But we have a mixed doubles tournament this weekend. And I would film it, and I would film a lot of the match highlights and stuff. But the thing is it's hard to draw all of you to watch when it's really hard to get people to watch pro level tennis. And this would be adult 7.0 to 8.0, which is, 3.0 level to 4 or 5 level. So it's to some people, it's not really worth the time when you're there and the people. It's wonderful, but I don't know. Would you enjoy seeing that type of tennis, like the 7 or 8.5 combined level and doubles or 3.5 or 3.0 or 4.0 tennis? If so, I'll film it.
Good question, Vandy. If my daughter was in Rybakina's position, I would tell her yes. Do what you got to do to accomplish your dream.
I agree.
I'm not saying
I do. That's deep.
Don't sell your soul like that. You're not having sex for money. That's different.
Yeah.
But if you're talented and you are a tennis player and the country won't help you, absolutely.
Yeah, I think the way Van Lee asked that question, if you think about it, because we have 2 daughters and 3 boys, we have 5 children.
I would say yes.
If Lily came, if you and I were thinking about Lily's future, and we had an opportunity for her to have her future basically much obliged, and it was because she had to put a different flag near her name.
I would say yes.
Knowing that we don't have a pot to piss in and we struggle like all the rest of us. I mean, geez, it took our entire savings to go to New Orleans last night and came back early. I'm just saying.
It didn't take
it was effective. It was effective.
But it was something we needed. Unfortunately, I was messed
we had
up,
an injury and had to come back, but that's okay.
But yes, I would tell my daughter.
But the point I'm getting at is, with that said, knowing that we struggle to do anything.
Would you accept $100K for her if she wants to? I think if your kids want to give you something, they give it to you, right? You shouldn't have to ask for anything. I mean,
exactly.
I think if your parents help you, you should help them back. I mean, I would hope that one day my 2 oldest will look out for us. You know what I mean?
Well, we got them in the Air Force academies.
I mean, you would think that would be natural. If I could do it for my dad, I would do it. I mean, whatever I can do for my parents.
These, man.
So,
those.
I mean, if she wanted to give it to me, sure. But would I ask for it? Hell no. Would I manage the money like some of these parents have for their kids and left them bankrupt? Hell no. I would not want to manage their money. I would not want to be involved in their money. Let's say if they ever became pros, I would tell them hire an accountant and let them work out your whole financial thing. I would not want to be involved in that. Just saying.
Yeah. Good question. I'm too much of a dumb human being. I admit I'm a dumb human being.
I would not want anything to do with that, because if something went bad, I would not want to be responsible for that. Just saying.
I love these. My favorite shoe, and I got a lot of shoes. I'm so loving these.
PG3, I will be shipping out, since tomorrow is my day off. I will be shipping out your hat. And I think Jesus, you said to wait till August. So I will be shipping.
And he wanted the green?
He wants the blue hat. PG wants the blue hat.
Oh.
The blue baby hat, and then for Jesus, it's the strings. So I will be shipping out the blue hat.
I already got it here, though.
Yes.
This is the one he wanted. I think I have it here.
I'm not going to play the stock market.
That's the one he wants?
That's the one he wants.
Yeah, we have it.
That will be shipped out on Monday. And what I will do, PG, is I will send you the a shot of the receipt, so you know. Maybe they put a tracking number. Sometimes they do. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know if he knew we have the green, which is kind of like grass season, and then we have the yellow as well. And then we had new visors made. I already showed these once, so I don't want to beat a dead horse. But we have the royal blue visor for U.S. Open, the burgundy. And we have the red, which I think is really nice. That red really stands out. They all stand out, but the blue and the red I think are really, really nice. The burgundy is nice too. Okay? It'll
be shipped out tomorrow. I promise. Tomorrow's my day off. I will ship it out before I go pick up my son at the airport.
And he's taking the blue?
The blue.
And yeah, we ordered 30 of these, and this is our last blue hat, so you're getting it. It's on you. This is yours. If you want us to, there's a piece of cardboard in there because it's new. If you want us to, we can sign that for you. Doesn't matter, or we can sign the hat. But I'd probably just sign the cardboard. But that's up to you. We can just leave it blank, or we can sign it for you with the message if you wish. Okay? But let Carlo know if you want us to sign it, because I don't want to ruin your hat if you don't want it signed. It's kind of like stenciling a tennis racket. Some people want the racket stenciled, and some people don't. And I understand that. Even though when people tell me when I stream the rackets, I say, hey, do you want a stencil? They're like, no, I don't want to stencil my racket. I'm thinking, when you go to the store and buy a pair of Levi's or a Nike shoe, do you tell Nike, I don't want your stencil on your shoe? I mean, the whole point of a stencil is to be kind of like a marketing tool for you. So if you're going out of the way to make the product, I don't think it's too much to ask to sport their logo. I mean, does Nike make any clothes without their logo? Does Izod make these Djokovic hats Izod logo less? So I think you have to ask yourself that question. But anyway, let us know if you want us to sign it. It's our last one, so I don't want to ruin it. Okay? All right.
All right, guys. Adios. See you soon.
See you soon. We'll be another show within a few days when our oldest son gets here. And then, as usual, every day during the majors. Okay? Adios. Subscribe.